Hello and welcome to another edition of OC Tax Talk. My name is Carolyn Cavecci. I'm the CEO and President of the Orange County Taxpayers Association, and with us today is Christine Robertson from DigitalDemocracy, also from the Institute of Advanced Technology and Public Policy at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're very excited here at OC Tax because we are big fans of transparency in government, and I don't think I've come across anything as of late that does that as much as DigitalDemocracy does. So why don't you tell us what you're doing up there in San Luis Obispo?
Fantastic. Well, this project was built by faculty and students to open up the California State Legislature. So what we do is we produce the state's only record of who was in the room and what they said during the thousands of hours of debate and discussion on proposed legislation.
That's amazing. So tell us, and we're going to go more into detail about it because I really kind of want to drill down on how people can use this. But why did your group get involved in this? What's the catalyst?
So my background was I was a chief of staff in both the Assembly and the Senate for almost a decade.
Okay.
And it was in that capacity that I learned myself that the state does not produce these important records. Mm-hmm. And it made my job very difficult. I could not staff my boss and go back and reconstruct the record of who said what and what commitments were made as bills were moving through the process. Yeah. So that lack of internal accountability was the first challenge that we sought to address. But beyond that, we saw that community-based stakeholders, in our district, we had 1 million constituents that were hundreds of miles from the Capitol, yeah. And they could not access information yeah. about what was being said, which meant that their ability to craft a meaningful and effective engagement strategy was undermined by a lack of information. Yeah. So we wanted to create more equity in the system, mm-hmm. so that those citizens were empowered to be more effective.
Yeah, it's even harder, I think, for counties like Orange County and probably even San Luis Obispo. You know, we don't have a news media that's based in our county. We have to kind of go off of the Los Angeles, and we find here that a lot of the coverage of Sacramento is very centered on, you know, the larger cities, probably Los Angeles, San Francisco. So our legislators sometimes kind of can slide under the carpet there and not be as held as accountable. So what exactly? I'm logging on to the DigitalDemocracy, and let's say I want to follow Proposition 13. So I would put Prop 13 in the search engine. What would come out for me?
So when you type in any search term, what you get is every time that those terms were discussed by any speaker in the legislature, you can then use the filters to refine that search to a specific bill or find statements made by specific speakers in the process, whether they're legislators or lobbyists or even members of the general public.
Wow.
And then, of course, we've offered free accounts to anyone who comes to the site to be able to set up email alerts.
Right.
So rather than having to come every day and search for new content, you can simply tell the system what issues you want to follow, and then when new content is added, you will get an email with a link to that precise moment in the video.
That's great. So what content comes up? An actual video?
Correct. It's a video that's time synced to a full text scrolling transcript below, right. And within that transcript is not just what was said, but the name of the speaker connected to that specific statement.
Wow.
And so again, we are the only source of any transcripts coming out of the state legislature.
So I get all the video records of everything on Prop 13, what anybody said, and I also get a rolling transcript.
Correct.
That's amazing. But your site actually has a lot of other information. So let's say I'm interested in the person who's speaking about Proposition 13. Can I click on their name?
Correct. So within the transcript, next to the statement is the speaker's name, which is a hyperlink to that speaker's profile.
Okay.
And on a speaker's profile, we list information about what type of speaker they are, if they're a lobbyist, if they're a state agency representative, and then we drill down even deeper. So we know if they're a state agency representative, which state agency
wow.
they represent. If they're a lobbyist, who employs that lobbyist, and what client were they representing in that hearing, as well as the position that they took on the bill. And then on that profile page, we aggregate all instances of testimony by that speaker.
Wow.
So there's a comprehensive, enduring record of engagement by each individual participating in the process.
And so I can actually log on. Let's say I want to punch in somebody that I know in Orange County that's a lobbyist that's up there. I can actually put their name in
exactly.
as well.
Correct.
And follow everything they've said.
Exactly. So you could search by speaker, by topic,
wow.
by statement, and then within the email alerts, you can set alerts for bills statements or speakers.
Or people, so I can have an alert for a specific legislator or a lobbyist.
Exactly.
As well. That's fascinating. And to me, I think that gives a good record, and I think we talked about this before. Sometimes people's positions or the way they present themselves changes over time.
It can change over time, or it can change based on location. And so oftentimes what someone says maybe in their capacity as a candidate or when they're back home in the district at a town hall versus what they're saying up in the Capitol when specific bills come before them can vary. And so creating a record whereby constituents can hold their representatives accountable to what they're saying in the district versus what they're doing in the Capitol is obviously important for democracy.
Wow. So another part of the website is something called the alignment meter, because a lot of times organizations like OC Tax, and there are various organizations that are very hardcore lobbying up in Sacramento. We do a legislative scorecard, but I will be honest, we take a look at that data, and sometimes we throw bills out, we don't throw bills, things change, and all organizations do that. It's just not us. So it's a good indicator, but it's not perfect. So what are you all doing with aligning legislators with organizations?
So as you said, when my boss was in the Assembly and the Senate, we saw organization scorecards which were not comprehensive. They would select certain bills or select bills intentionally designed to produce partisan outcomes. And so we sought to create the state's first comprehensive and purely objective record of alignment between issue groups and legislator votes. And so the alignment meter allows you to select an organization and then see how any individual lawmaker or group of lawmakers vote in alignment with that interest group.
Wow. So if I wanted to put in the Sierra Club or the ACLU or a pro-life organization, Planned Parenthood, Chamber of Commerce, I can put that organization name in, and then I can pull up every legislator?
Every legislator. And so what you'll get is a meter that will show the percentage of alignment between the positions taken by that organization and the votes taken by that specific lawmaker. And then, of course, as a transparency organization, we provide access to all the raw data that went into that calculation. So rather than just producing a graphic, we give the user all of the background data as well.
The bills that you used, all of that. Okay, that's actually fascinating. One of the other, and it's such a comprehensive site, which is just amazing. I really recommend that everybody, if they can, to kind of go on, especially those who are interested in what's going on in Sacramento. You're working on something that's a lot more community oriented. Again, focused on, we're based in Orange County. A lot of our cities, local papers they don't show what's going on in Sacramento. So you've actually got something going on as well with that at your organization.
Right. So because our site is made up of all primary source material, the video and the comprehensive transcripts, we are working to develop a local media feed so that every hometown paper can have unique information about what their representative is saying and doing in the Capitol any given week. And the format for that could either be a raw feed of votes and data, but we're also working on what we call our robot reporter. And what that does is create a machine-generated first draft article that summarizes what happened in a hearing or a discussion and grabs out of the transcripts the quotes and then grabs the videos so that the reader can see the actual discussion in original context and then understand the vote outcome and where the bill goes next.
Well, and it wouldn't be biased at all because it's literally based on exactly what is said in the exact vote that happens.
Exactly, and all of that material is then linked back to the original source material on the website. And so when we talk about who was in the room and what the votes were and what the arguments were, all of that material will be linked back so that if anybody wants to see the broader discussion, they have instant access back to the source material.
Now, would a local newspaper in Orange County, would they have to apply for this to be able to get this, or are you looking potentially in the future to just start sending it out automatically to local papers?
So we haven't quite figured out that distribution model. The Robot Reporter project, for example, is still in the R&D phase. So it's still in development as the students that have built the project are now writing this algorithm to generate these articles. But our goal is to have as broad a reach as possible because really it's in the hometown districts that we get the greatest accountability. And it's been very challenging because over the years, whereas the wire services have always been very good about giving a statewide perspective. We've never seen hometown papers have the capacity to follow their representative in the capital. So technology is opening up this amazing opportunity to have local oversight of local representation for the first time ever.
Well, and I can say, as someone who served at a local level in office, and really for the first time when I did that, it really was made clear to me how the decisions in Sacramento make such a huge impact, and more so in California, I think lately, with the one-party rule that's happening right now, we're finding things are just moving through so quickly. There isn't a lot of the give and take anymore. So was that one of the reasons why you all decided to do this, was because there really wasn't that transparency at the local level?
Obviously the transparency challenge was a huge motivation for us. And again, we came at this from a very practical perspective. I was a staff person in the building, and I didn't have access to this information. And so the motivation was to provide insider access to community-based stakeholders so that they could be empowered to compete on a level closer to the professional lobbyists and special interest groups that can physically have somebody in the room. And so the motivation is to create a more empowered constituency.
Very much so. Well, and I'm curious on how this all got put together. It's highly technical. The state obviously isn't getting involved in doing this. So I know you're funded by local organizations or state that are interested in what's happening at the statewide level. So who actually sat down at the table and developed these computer models?
So it was faculty and students. Okay. So the idea, the design behind the project came from myself and our team of former legislative staff and practitioners who knew exactly what we wanted the system to do.
You just had to figure out how to get there.
Correct. And so then we sat down with a couple faculty that are computer scientists and computer engineers, described it to them. They spent some time scoping the technical requirements and then engaged teams of students, and it's the students who actually have built the platform.
Wow. And then you get your feed from the California channel or from the state legislature?
So we get the actual videos come from either the legislature, the assembly, or Senate, as well as the California channel as a major provider of the video.
Because they're required to do that now.
Correct. Under Proposition 54, starting in 2018, the legislature will be required to provide comprehensive video coverage of all committees for the first time.
Wow.
And then put all of the video content online within 24 hours.
Right.
So we're about to experience a major boom in transparency.
Yeah. The difference, though, is that you can put as much content as you want, but if it's all just globbed and you can't search for specifically, it's overwhelming you with data so that you really don't know what's going on.
Imagine the internet without Google.
Right.
Or a library without the Dewey Decimal System.
You couldn't find anything.
Correct. And if you can't find it, it virtually doesn't exist.
That's fascinating. And so you're in California now, but you're also reaching out to you have other states you're starting to do.
Correct. So because there's so little infrastructure in place to open up state legislatures, and state legislatures are responsible for major policy decisions.
Yes.
That is where our focus is right now. So we started in California, but earlier this year we launched the platform in the state of New York. And come January 2018, we plan to scale into Florida and Texas. And those 4 states represent 1/3 of the U.S. population.
So 1/3 of all the state legislatures will be able to search anything through your site.
1/3 of the people, will be able to see what their state legislatures are doing.
That's amazing. Well, we can't thank you enough at the Orange County Taxpayers Association. This is something we're very excited about being a part of, because education and transparency and actually letting the taxpayers know who's making the decisions and what those decisions are for us in California, I think is going to be huge and potentially a game changer.
We think so.
I think so too as well. Well, thank you so much for being
here
today.
having
We
me.
appreciate it. Stay with us on the video, because as soon as we close, we're going to go straight into a tutorial and give you an access to what exactly is happening at Digital Democracy, how you can learn to use this program, and hopefully how you can keep your state legislators, keep yourself informed about what your state legislators are doing. And with that, you can actually get more information about OC Tax as well on our website, octax.org. You can find out about education opportunities, how to become a member. You can also go to our Facebook page, the Orange County Taxpayers Association. And with that, we'll see you next time on OC Tax Talk.
Every term, while Congress is mired in stalemate, state legislatures are busy enacting close to 40,000 new bills and resolutions, Despite the volume and importance of decisions being made in the nation's state houses, the public and news media have virtually no way to easily discover what happened during a state legislative hearing. Until now. Digital democracy makes it fast and easy for anyone to search, watch, and share video clips of the moments and issues that matter to them. But the information on the site is laid out to allow users to quickly navigate content organized by hearings, individual bills, speakers, organizations, or simple keyword search. From the homepage, you can type in search terms of interest, and the site instantly returns every time these terms were spoken in a committee hearing. You can see the name of the speaker, the hearing location and date, and the brief context in which the terms were used. When you find the clip you want to watch, you simply click on the video play button. The video jumps right to your search results. A scrolling transcript allows you to follow along with the video. You can scroll up or down in the transcript, and if you find something new you want to watch, clicking on that section of the transcript will automatically advance the video to that moment. If you want to learn more about the speaker, you can click on the name, and it will take you to that speaker's profile page. Each legislator's page will include information about recent testimony, committees on which they sit, and bills that they have authored. Information about campaign contributions and gifts to lawmakers, as well as payments made at their behest, are displayed on their profile page. To look at the profiles of other speakers, you can click on the Speakers tab at the top of the screen. Here you can search by legislators, lobbyists, or others who provide testimony in hearings. A lobbyist's speaker profile displays their employer and their list of clients, as well as a summary of their positions on specific bills and links to video of their testimony. Similarly, information about lobbying and testimony offered on behalf of an organization is displayed under the Organizations tab. The Organizations page displays information about their positions on specific bills, the lobbyist or advocate who represented them, and links to video of their testimony. Many advocates will want to quickly scan an overview of the hearings that are happening on a given week. Clicking on the Hearings tab at the top of the screen will display the most recent committees that have met, list the bills that were heard that day in the committee, and list who spoke on each of the bills. Clicking on a speaker's name will take you right to the beginning of that individual's statements about that bill in that committee. Or perhaps you are following a specific bill. Clicking on the Bills tab at the top of the screen allows you to put in the bill number, bill author, or bill topic of interest. Click on the bill number, and you get detailed information about the bill, including a summary, the full text, history, analysis, and votes. The videos of each hearing in which this bill is discussed are displayed on the right side of the screen. Clicking on the thumbnail brings you back to that specific bill video. By creating a free account, users have access to advanced tools such as video clipping and email alerts. Once logged in, users can set email alerts to be notified when new content of interest is added. Simply select Video Alert. Give your alert a name and enter the keywords or phrases you want to monitor. You can narrow your alert to a specific speaker, bill, or hearing location. Then, click Create Alert. Within your account, you can view, edit, and delete your alerts. Logged-in users can also create video clips. To create a clip, locate the video you want to edit and click the Clip This button below the video. The video editor will open. Use the sliders to enter the start and stop point for your clip. Click Preview to watch your clip before finalizing.
Those who let this happen must be held accountable. Let me underscore and emphasize.
Give the clip a name, add any notes, and then click Create Clip. The clip is created and automatically saved to your clip bank. Your clip bank allows you to preview, edit, delete, or share your clips. To share your clip, click on the Share button, type in your comments, and broadcast that clip to mobilize, energize, and activate your networks to take action. Information is power, and digital democracy is designed to empower you.